What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dollar Mike and I'm back at it again with another video. I just made a video talking about your credit card statement and everything you need to know regarding your credit card statement. All the due dates, all the payment dates, the different terminology like your billing cycle and the grace period. So if you want to check that video out, it'll be linked right up there, and it'll also give you insight if you want to dive more into actually paying down your debt, which is what this video is about. So in this video, we're talking about just that, and I'm also providing some new methods on how to pay down your debt that I haven't provided in a previous video that I made probably like a year or two ago. So either way, let's not waste any more time. Let's pay down some credit card debt with these options. Let's jump right into it. Let's go. Let's start with the most common option first when it comes to paying down debt. This first method can be done in two ways, and it's known as the debt avalanche method and also the debt snowball method. If you haven't heard about it, well, you're going to hear about it right here. Let's take, for example, we have three credit cards. One has a $500 balance, one has a $1,000 balance, and one has a $1,500 balance. If we're going to use the debt snowball method to pay all these credit cards off, then we're going to pay the lowest balance first. In this snowball method case, we're paying the lowest balance first, and we're going to make the minimum payments on the other two cards. So we're going to make the minimum payment on the $1,000 credit card and also the minimum payment on the $1,500 credit card. On the $500 credit card, we're going to put as much as we can put towards it until it's paid off. Once it's paid off, then we move on over to the next lowest, which will be the $1,000 credit card. When you do the debt snowball method, you get a sense of achievement because it's pretty easy to do to pay off the lowest balance first, and it makes you feel good. So once you get that momentum going, you go and pay the next one off. Momentum's popping at this point to knock out the last one, and you pay the last one off. So that's exactly why you would want to use the debt snowball method. Now, the other method, known as the debt avalanche method, has a delayed satisfaction, but you'll end up saving more money if you do this method. With the debt avalanche method, let's take, for example, those same three credit cards. In this particular case, one has a 15% interest rate, one has a 20% interest rate, and the last one, the $1,500 one, has a 25% interest rate. And in the debt avalanche method, we're going to focus on paying down the highest interest rate first. So what you're going to do is you're going to make the minimum payment for the $500 balance credit card and the $1,000 balance credit card, and the highest interest rate one, which is at $1,500 and 25% interest, we're going to go ahead and focus all of our money towards that, pay that off first, and then work our way backwards. We want to do this so we can save as much money as possible and pay the least amount of money in interest possible. The next method is known as a balance transfer. If you don't know what a balance transfer is, it sounds like exactly what it is. So pretty much a balance transfer is when you transfer your credit card balance, that $500 balance that you may have, on over to another card for a 0% interest rate period. Now, you're not going to get a 0% interest rate for forever with the credit card, but you will get a zero interest rate period for maybe 12 months, maybe 15 months, 18 months. I've seen credit cards have, I think, 21-month interest rate periods. The idea for the balance transfer strategy is pretty much if you have a credit card that has a 20% interest rate on it or even more than that, you want to make sure you can pay that off as fast as possible, but you want to transfer that on over to another credit card that has a 0% interest rate. All that money can then go towards the principal, and you won't have to worry about paying any interest for that introductory period, usually 12 to 21 months. The balance transfer strategy could easily save you thousands of dollars depending on how much credit card debt you have and also what your interest rate is. You also need to ensure when you do the balance transfer that you have a high enough credit limit to do the balance transfer. So let's say, for example, you have $3,000 in credit card debt on one single credit card, and you would like to do that balance transfer to get that 0% interest on another credit card. You need to have at least $3,000 on that brand new credit card or more to do the balance transfer. So if it's only $2,000 for the brand new card and you have a $3,000 balance, that means you can only transfer $2,000, and that remaining $1,000 would stay on the original high interest credit card. Now, for balance transfers, you do have to pay a small fee to actually do the transfer. So say, for example, you have a $1,000 credit card and it has a high interest rate, and you want to go ahead and transfer the balance to a 0% one. If you do that balance transfer, it's going to cost you about 3% of whatever the balance is. So the balance is $1,000. you transfer it over, they're going to charge you about $30. That is a one-time charge. You don't pay that monthly or anything like that. It's a one-time charge. You pay the $30, and then obviously you go forth, don't use the card anymore. You go forth and continuously pay off the card before the introductory period is over, so you can dodge all that interest that you normally would have if you had it on a previous credit card that had a high interest rate. Now, when it comes to balance transfer credit cards, there are a lot out there, and I'll put them on the screen right here. But either way, if you're interested, I do have the Chase Freedom Flex, and they do offer balance transfers. And I also think it's a really great card to have once you pay off all your credit card debt. So if you are interested in signing up for the Chase Freedom Flex, there will be a link below. You can do a balance transfer with that credit card, but by all means, use any of the cards, use whatever makes the most sense for you, but I do highly recommend it. For balance transfer credit cards, you also want to make sure that credit card has no annual fee, because obviously you're trying to pay down debt, not pay more fees. So you want to make sure it has no annual fee. And like I mentioned before, the Chase Freedom Flex does not. There are also other cards that I put on the screen that also don't have an annual fee. So by all means, go and grab one of those and you should be good to go. And lastly, regarding those balance transfer cards, those cards do typically have a lot of promotions and such, where if you spend $500, they may give you $100 back or whatever it may be. Your goal isn't to really spend more money. However, once you get to that stable point, then that would be great for you to go ahead and take advantage of if you can. If you can't, doesn't matter. We're just worried about paying debt here. The next method is something that 40% of Americans do, and that's pretty much just get a side hustle or a side job or an extra job to go ahead and pay down that extra debt. If you want to pay off your debt faster, it's pretty easy to go ahead and just grab a serving job or maybe a bartending job, or maybe you want to go do some landscaping for somebody. Whatever you want to do, make it fun, make it part of one of your interests, and only do it temporarily unless you want to do it full time. But only do it temporarily, maybe for 6 to 8 months or something like that. You go and get a serving job. I'd have a friend that does the exact same thing. He got a serving job and he's still there. He's pretty happy with it, but his regular job pays for all his bills and plus some, and his serving job literally pays for his car. So it puts extra money onto his car that normally he wouldn't have if he didn't have that extra job or that extra income. So if you want to go out and just do an extracurricular serving job or whatever you want to do, then by all means, go and do that and pay down your debt a little bit faster. Another option is common sense, but common sense isn't that common, and that's to stop using credit cards. That's it. Just stop using credit cards. If you just only pay for things that you can actually afford to pay for with a debit card or with cash, then you'll be good to go. And that'll help you focus paying down that credit card debt. But if you keep charging things that you can't afford or that you just want to get because you want to keep up with someone else or for whatever reason, it doesn't really matter. Just cut your credit cards up, stop using them, maybe for 3 months, maybe for 6 months, and see where it happens. The last method or option I want to mention is pretty much getting a personal loan. So if you go ahead and grab a personal loan, that personal loan can cover all of your credit card debt. Let's say, for instance, you have 3 different credit cards and they all have $2,000 on each one. You can go and get a personal loan for, let's say, $6,000 or $10,000, give or take. You can go get a personal loan for that amount of money that has a lower interest rate than your current credit cards. That way, you'll be good to go. You can pay off all your credit cards at the same time, and then you also have one loan that's at a lower interest rate than what you were paying for. So pretty much it's saving you money, it's saving you time, so you don't have to go ahead and pay different credit cards and whatnot. So if you can do all that and put it into one single thing with a consolidated loan, like a personal loan, then by all means go and do just that. If you're interested in something like that, then SoFi, with my link down below, is going to give you $300 to go towards that. So $300 pretty much to help you pay down your debt even faster if you go and grab a personal loan with SoFi. And of course, the understanding is that you go and grab this personal loan, you pay off all your debt with that personal loan and not put yourself into more debt. And on top of that, you use that $300 to pay your debt down even faster. It's free $300 just for signing up. On top of that, you want to make sure you're grabbing a personal loan that can cover the cost of all of your credit card debt or whatever else debt you may have. You can also stack some of these methods if you want to. Like, you can stack the Avalanche Snowball method with the balance transfer, use some of that cash back that you may receive from paying the bills that you have to pay for anyway to put towards your debt. You can do that as well. So most of these can be stacked on top of each other, and I don't really see an issue with it. So whatever works for you works for you. This is lifestyle finance and it's your life. So you got to take advantage of what you can take advantage of and do what you got to do to pay off that debt as fast as possible and also stay out of debt going forward. Either way, this is your life. I'm just here to help if I can. This is lifestyle finance in motion, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay positive, stay hydrated. Dollar Mike. Peace.